one of the things that happens as we go into expirations week, like we have this Friday, is that little window of where the June and the September contracts for the Dow, S&P, and the NASDAQ will overlap. And when I say they're overlapping, I mean they're both viable to trade. I mean you can trade the YM on the June or the September. You could trade the Russell on the June or the September. But you'll notice that the open interest and volume starts its expiration migration, if you will. In other words, they start to move over to what will be the front month. So let me just mention, if you're interested in trading the longer term setups, if you're interested in getting long or short the on a daily time frame, I definitely want you to look at September right now. But if you're trading intraday, it's not going to hurt you to be in June or September. And just what you're also going to notice is that the setups don't actually look any different. So let's dive into this here, because I think it's pertinent, and it's going to be something you'll be dealing with for the rest of your career. So the front month, gang, is for all intents and purposes after the roll date, and that's something you can get right from the CME. It is the September contract month. Okay, there's no question about that. We are looking at September. So we are looking also to day trade, which means if you're in June, no calamity. But we had a breach here. Now the same breach right there that happened on the September contract, the U contract at 5 minutes after 10, because one thing to mention, we have been doing this pretty consistently now for a handful of weeks, is we are really either treating the 15-minute time frame as aggressive, or we're passing on it altogether, or what I prefer to do right now is wait for the 30-minute breach. And here is the June contract, and there you go, 10:05. So the prices will be slightly different, but the actual pattern is the same. The breach time is the same. The retreats are the same. So we had a classic breach and retreat. Now, a couple things about the retreat. You know, I like to look at a 50% of the clearing range. I love that if we can get something like that. So basically, you have the high, you have the low, and you basically cut it in half. We also have this bundle, if you will, of volume weighted average price levels, the 2 a.m., the 7 a.m., and the 9:30. And you can see that with the alert that I sent out, I was really just kind of defining this entire range as a buyable range from 125, 26,125 down to 105. So what went into work here? The 50%, the VWAP, and then also we have some minor and we have some major psych level help, right? Minor and major psych levels. And you can see where we sent those alerts out for. So we pull back into the zone between these two, and we moved up higher. Now, quite frankly, for me, the cutoff is 11 a.m., but the hard cutoff is 11:30, like nothing after 11:30. That's kind of a hard rule. I know those of you that are a little bit more advanced and can manage your positions on your own, you can go out to 45, but again, for what most of us are doing here, especially if you're new to what I'm doing, I'd rather you start to, stop at 11. Start to stop. What does that mean? No new trades here, preferably, or just manage what you've got, or just be really aware of the fact that you're closing in on 11:30. So slow things down. That's what I mean, start to stop. So that makes anything that would be a pullback to the retreat level or the retest level valid until 11, but no later than 11:30. And nothing else happened, by the way, on either the June or the September contract. Again, that's what I say, that if you're in either one, the patterns look the same. The patterns absolutely look the same. We got close, I believe, though. SEP got pretty close. Did it tag? I know, I just got close. See, just like June got close. Now, as far as trades that happened later in the day, the Russell was a pretty good example of that, and we'll talk a little bit more about that But please do keep in mind that when you are looking at these retreats and these retests, you really do have the cutoff. And this one, I would say, is a little bit more advanced in when it happened. See, this would be a no, but this would be a little bit more about when it happened. All right, but this was absolutely a retest. And you know what's really handy here? Guess who else? By the time we got to 11:15, guess who was joining the party? We got the VWAP. That sure does help. And that's pretty much the morning right there. Okay? And this is what we're looking for every morning. So this is definitely a rinse and repeat kind of scenario.